Hello, welcome to Working Crass Podcast. This is Lauren.
Ni hao.
And I'm Joshua. I'm not going there. I don't want to.
That's just Chinese for hello.
Yes, I know it is, but I mean, you did the accent and everything, didn't you?
Well, no, I just said it correctly.
Yeah. I just said it correctly.
Look, I took 3 semesters of Mandarin Chinese in college, and so you can't break me of my desire to try and pronounce things accurately.
Look, you're not supposed to learn foreign languages. That is cultural appropriation. You can't.
That's the American way.
You never learn a foreign language. Don't matter. It is funny, you learn a foreign language, and all the right wingers are like, "God damn it, don't you speak no foreign languages?" And all the left wingers are like, "How dare you culturally appropriate?" You know what? No matter what way you look at it, never learn a foreign language. Just speak the language that you learned at birth, and keep it that way.
Yeah, only say goo goo gaga, goo
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 gaga.
gaga. I speak English. Goo goo gaga. Welcome to Working Crass Podcast, folks. Thanks for joining us for yet another week of goose and gaffs and gaffa haffas. And we were just talking about
It's some hell yes.
and some hell yes too. Last night we took a little walk around and we walked by an Apple store. And I kept going on about, like, who goes into an Apple store? Like, why do you need to go inside of an Apple store?
Yeah.
I use iPhone.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. I also use MacBooks. I use Apple products. I've always ordered them online. I mean, maybe I bought one from a Mac store back in the early 2000s, but I can't even think. Why do you need to go to an Apple store?
Because you're a chump. That's what I say.
You said it's full of chumps.
Yeah, they're just chumps.
Do people, every time I walk by, it's packed with people. How many Apple products can you have? I mean, there's only 5 Apple products at any given point. There's an Apple computer, there's a phone, and there's a wristwatch.
And they're all going to be obsolete in the next 2 years anyway. So
that's why they keep going back to the store?
Yeah.
I just find it so weird to even go in the store. I've always ordered it online. I mean, you could just order it. You already know what it is.
Yeah.
Why do you have to go in the store? What's happening in those stores? What fucking weird cabal rituals are happening in those fucking Apple stores?
That's where the Illuminati meets.
Every time I've walked into an Apple store, I've heard hoocha kacha, hoocha kacha.
Hooga shaka, hooga shaka. Blood packed, blood packed.
Blood packed.
You walk in and shark bait.
Yeah.
They're just playing Finding Nemo.
Steve Jobs, blow job. Steve Jobs, blow job.
Steve Jobs.
Anyway. I'm just wondering why these fucking people are going in there. And then, of course, that just came out. They just came out with the the Apple, the Vision Pro. I think that's what it's called. It's the fucking VR headset that you put on and forget about your life and forget that you're a real person that lives in the real world, and you officially plug into the fucking virtual world.
Yeah.
Very strange. Very, very strange. And there's some capacities that I think it's cool. It's like you can put it on and it feels like you can explore another country. So let's say you want to take a little vacation to Greece, but you can't afford it. Well, I guess you can afford an $800 fucking headset. So you probably could afford the trip to Greece, but whatever.
Yeah.
Put the headset on, you set it to Greece, and you can look all around and it looks like you're there. And you can and also they use it as a teaching tool, so you can use it to take tours of historical places, and then they can virtually show you what it looked like in ancient Greece.
Yeah.
And
you know what else you can do?
What?
Is you can get a public library card and go down to the library and get a book about Greece and just look at the pictures.
And you know what else you could do? You could put on your headset and go to a virtual library where they have the same books, and you can sit in that library from the comfort of your own home.
And never have to actually read anything ever again.
It can read it to you in celebrity voices if you'd like. If you'd like Obama to read you the book, the Vision Pro can do that. No, I've seen videos of people sitting on the toilet, and then they turn their environment into a beautiful field so they can feel like they're shitting, in nature.
I just think that's stupid. Just close your eyes. Just go sit on the john and close your eyes and imagine yourself sitting in the field.
Nope, imagination. Imagination's for queers. I put on I put on a fucking fancy ass Apple headset and then I let it do the imaginating for me.
You tell me I'm supposed to think of pictures in my head on my own self? Not happening.
I put on my little Apple Vision Pro and I pretend like I have a job emptying the septic tanks of trailer homes. But I don't got to touch any shit until it's 8 a.m. and I have to take the headset off and go to my real job emptying septic tanks of trailer homes. It's 8 to 5 and then I go home and do another 8 to 5, if you know what I mean. It's poo-poo all damn day and it's my dream come true. It's so weird. I don't understand opting to live in the virtual world.
Me neither.
And I would love to play like a VR video game or whatever for an hour. I think that's fine and cool or whatever. I think, though, that people legitimately want to get uploaded to the internet and live virtually. Like, they don't want to be in... I just don't want to be around anymore. That's the thing. They don't want to be in physical reality anymore. Yeah. Just upload me.
Just put me in my pod and upload me to the net.
I have coworkers because I work in the tech field and I work in a job with a bunch of nerds, and
they're all pro pod.
Yeah. Oh, all pro pod, all pro. Like, get that chip in my brain to upload me to the Neuralink. There was a guy talking recently about like how he loves Neuralink. He's like, I'm excited for that to come out. That's what I'm looking forward to, is the Neuralink to upload myself. And like,
I'm just gonna say I cannot relate to that at all, because I am what they call a late adopter when it comes to technology. I mean, like, really late.
Yes.
Like, I literally, somebody had to make me a Facebook page when I was a senior in high school, and then I didn't really start using it until I was a sophomore or junior in college.
Wow.
I didn't have a smartphone until I was getting my master's.
Wow. Loser.
I just didn't feel the need for any of that stuff.
Yeah, no, that's extreme on the other side. I mean,
I'm a Luddite. I'm pretty much Amish.
Yeah, no, you're crazy.
Hey,
no.
The Amish, they're doing well.
Yeah, no, they're doing very well.
I've seen them at the train station.
No, I don't have
Chicago, and they're doing well.
I don't have a Facebook or any of that shit either. I mean, I'm done with that. But
oh yeah, I got rid of mine.
Yeah, you what?
I got rid of mine.
I got rid of mine. Oh yeah, I got rid of mine. But man, I mean, people love to just upload. That's what they want. They want to escape reality.
Yeah.
And I like reality. I mean, it's dark and there's a lot of negative things in reality, but that's
all there is.
That's all there is. You're right. That's literally all there is reality. It's all there is. As a matter of fact,
might as well just be in it.
Yeah, yeah. But no, there's also virtual reality, and that is the reality in which I would like to live. Anyway, so what I found here is a collection of.
But before you get to this, real quick.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry to interrupt.
Okay.
But I just wanted to ask, if you could put on the virtual headset to take a shit somewhere, where would you set it to? Where would be the optimal?
Probably Auschwitz.
That's interesting. We'll get into the psychology of that later on in the show.
Not like it would be in one of the like guards' corners, okay? It'd be like, what kind of toilets did the guards use?
Oh no, you just shit on the Nazis. It's like, take that.
Oh.
Yeah.
I said I would be in where the guards are.
Yeah, and you're shitting on the guards. You're like, take that, you stupid Nazi guard.
No, I was in this scenario. Sorry, Lauren, I am a guard. Okay.
You know what? We'll cut this out. We'll cut this out of the podcast. We'll cut this out.
It's just that the joke went right over your head.
You know what?
I go, you go, where would you be? I go, Auschwitz. I go, I'd be in the guards tower. And you go, oh yeah, you would be shitting on the Nazis? I go, no, that joke went right over your head.
Okay, well, you know what? I'm sorry I derailed us. I shouldn't have asked that question. It was stupid. I got a stupid answer. Let's move on.
Ask stupid questions, get stupid answers. But no, I mean, I would not pick Auschwitz. I'm trying to think of though, if I had to pick somewhere where I feel like the most comfortable shitting, I would just set the virtual reality headset to be a single occupancy restroom, and then I would use it in public restrooms so that I felt more comfortable. That's literally the maximum that I would go to. I'd be like, hey, I'm not really comfortable shitting in a public restroom. So I put it on. It looks like I'm in a single occupancy restroom. I'm happy. It's like the family style one where people go change their baby's diapers in there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You think somebody sets theirs to January 6th and they're always pooping on Nancy Pelosi's desk? Like that's their personal happy place to poop.
Hey Siri, bring me on into Nancy Pelosi's office. I got a big one I gotta let out. Come on, let's go. I gotta empty the septic tank, if you know what I'm saying. Well, that's not all that you can do with technology. Sure, you can use technology to shit on Nancy Pelosi's desk, but there's also all kinds of brand new, incredible forms of technology coming out every single day. And so this year, CES, that's one of the technology conventions. I just don't know what it stands for. The convention for extra super cool stuff. I don't know. But anyway, it's a big technology convention. So here are some of the most incredible technology reveals from that convention this year.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't realize this was going to have sound and audio, so let me turn that on. Sorry about that.
Yeah, definitely going to need some audio for this technologies.
All right. So, and I'm sure some of this is cool and some of this is very scary. So let's take a look.
All right. I don't.
All right,
like the audio.
we don't need the audio for that one. We don't need the audio for that one.
I don't want the audio.
Arovia's splay is a mix of a projector and a foldable screen. So you take it out of the case here, it looks like. You pull it up. Look at that. And it's immediately a projectable screen. Now, I'll say that's pretty cool. That's a great use of technology. You can bring that. It's a small case. You bring it around wherever you need to go. If let's say, for instance, we wanted to do a working Crass live show on a stage, we would have to set up a whole projection screen. We'd have to make sure that they had a projector or bring our own projector. It would be a bunch of cords. It would be the biggest pain in the ass in the world. This, you bring your little case, you set it up, it's done. And then we can talk about, whatever stories we have pulled up. Somebody poo-pooed in on a plane somewhere, and then that's our story.
You know what?
What other kind of generic stories do we talk about on this podcast?
I don't know. I feel the same way about that one as I do like those collapsible cups and like all that stuff that you see on.
You just ignore my question completely?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. All right. I guess fuck me. I guess I'm not a.
Okay.
I'm not a part of this fucking podcast at all.
I'm sorry. The technology distracted me. Ask your question again.
Oh my God. No, it was stupid. It was a hypothetical. Anyway.
What was the hypothetical?
Oh, no.
No, I'm sorry.
I'd literally have to rewind and go back and repeat so much to get there.
Well, can you just give me the gist of what the hypothetical was?
I said that we could bring this thing on a stage if we wanted to do a working Crass live show, and then we would pull up a story about somebody who pooped on an airplane, or I don't know. What are some other suggestions of the type of stories that we read on this podcast?
Pooped on airplanes.
Okay, you have exactly my example to provide for me. Okay, very nice. Moving on.
No,
here's another one. Nope, shush.
Fine.
This is an auto-tracking iPhone. You know what? The sound on all of them is getting turned off. An auto-tracking iPhone stand by Belkin. So this, you can walk wherever you want in the room, and the stand will take a picture. It will follow you around the room. So
you can be even more annoying when taking selfies.
Well, not only that, but this is great for surveillance, just in general. To make sure that we can quickly track anybody when they move. Yeah,
we definitely want to get all sides of your person captured on camera.
This is great for the Snowden types, so that the camera is always moving and following any whistleblowers so that we can smite them. Here's another one. The new VR projector technology that does not block the view, portal graph. So Looks like it just kind of creates dancing furry images, dancing anime furries.
I think so.
But hey, this technology is great for pervy 16-year-olds who live in their mom's basement, and they can, just make a virtual girl show up and sit on the desk and
do a little dance.
A little cat girl doing a little dance, and you never know, bend over, show her holes.
Yeah. Now
But you can't. But my problem with this technology is you just can't touch her.
My hand go right through it.
My hand goes right through her. I want to feel the hole.
Oh my! You think you can put one of those on your desk at work?
Just have a dancing girl on my desk.
Yeah.
I would do like a big obese black woman stripper, and have her do the thing where she jumps down and slams her pussy into the desk, and my whole desk shakes.
Yeah.
Like a Vegas stripper. Just a big old hefty one.
Like an Eddie Murphy character almost.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. No, I think that's the right move.
Oh my gosh. Let's see what else they got here. HP shows off an impressive new foldable laptop. It can serve as both an iPad and a traditional laptop. Oh, so it's just a laptop that you fold the screen. I'm going to say this about foldable screens, because this has come up so much in the last few years. Samsung made a foldable screen phone. So it's like a flip phone, but you open it up and it's a big old screen. And everyone who owns them now just has a phone with a screen with a big crease down the middle that doesn't work. It seems like that's always going to be the situation for foldable screens. It's like, oh, it's a screen you can fold. See, it folds.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like it has longevity, and yet every company every couple years comes out with one. They're like, hey, we figured out the technology on how to do it. And then every one of those products, you look at it 2 years, 3 years down the line, big old crease down the middle, and it does not work exactly what you would think of a foldable screen.
Yeah. No, this is what I was saying earlier. I feel like in the 2000s, there was a thing, especially on infomercials, where it was always selling something that was collapsible, foldable, tons of foldable cups, foldable bowls, all those kinds of things. And I feel like this falls into that same category where it's completely unnecessary.
Entirely unnecessary.
It's just going to sit. You think it's cool for about 3 minutes, and then you're over it.
Ooh, wow, it folds. Oh, it's broken.
Yeah,
it's literally what it is. Whoop, it's broken.
I don't know why we were so obsessed with folding and collapsing things.
I don't know either. Well, it's because carrying the stuff around is a pain. I mean, think about this podcast. We have to bring our stuff from our place over to the studio. Every single time my backpack is loaded with stuff. It's bulky, it's heavy. People want things that they can quickly collapse. Collapsible studio equipment,
Or the whole thing.
A whole collapsible studio.
Yeah.
Well, that's your next invention right there. If you can find a way to collapse an entire podcast studio, I'm telling you, honestly, that there's probably a market for that, and you could probably sell a lot of it.
All right, I'm gonna get to that.
How about this? And I actually mean this: a collapsible OnlyFans studio.
Yeah, we'll get back to that.
Okay. It's not like millions and billions of fucking people have OnlyFans now, and that's taking over.
I mean, do you need a studio for that?
Of course. The number one thing about starting an OnlyFans, and I was just reading this recently because I was curious if this would be a fun thing to read on the podcast, was the tips for people, because I wanted to know how many of these mainstream publications already have an article for here's how you can start your OnlyFans today, promoting it.
Yeah.
Every major, I looked it up.
Yes,
every major publication
we've degenerated as a society.
Correct. But one of the top things, it wasn't funny enough to bring up on the podcast, but one of the top things was find your studio space where you will use regularly or whatever. So people pick spaces in their home to regularly use, and they set it up like a studio. They have neon lights and all that kind of shit for their OnlyFans shit. So you build a collapsible studio that's waterproof and squirt proof, so that way you don't have to clean it all up, clean your squirt off the carpet, can clean your doo-doo off your dildos and all that stuff. It is a self-cleaning collapsible OnlyFans studio. And then all of these hooers can spend all of their OnlyFans money on that product. I think you make a lot more money than just a podcast studio.
I just don't know if it's worth it because they're all going to get replaced by those virtual dancing girls that you can set on your table.
That's true. That's
So
true. Fine, Lauren. Just poo-poo all my ideas.
I'm not poo-pooing all your ideas.
You really are a poo-pooer
No,
today.
I'm not. Well,
You're a real poo-pooer today. You got panties full of poo-poo, I'll tell you that right now. An AI mirror for mental health by Barracuda. It adjusts to your mood using light therapy, meditative walkthroughs, and self-affirmations based on your expressions, gestures, and tones. So this mirror, hey, I've always wanted a mirror that looks at my face. I've always used mirrors so I can look at my face, but what if my mirror could look back? That's what this mirror does. It looks back and it determines what your mood is and then picks the right lighting or starts talking to you. Like, you look in the mirror one day and your mirror goes, wow, you look really disheveled today.
No, it's just a really sexist mirror that's like, hey, you should smile more. You should smile more. Show me them titties.
Yeah. The mirror goes, hey,
Yeah.
toots.
Yeah.
Hey, toots, why don't you take them clothes off?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I mean, why don't you meditate for a minute?
Yeah. This is kind of like the evil queen, in Snow White, the mirror, mirror.
Mirror,
on.
mirror on the wall, who's the prettiest of them all?
Yeah. I don't know. I think you shouldn't rely on your technology for your self-affirmations and your meditative walkthroughs and all that stuff. You gotta, be in reality and have your own personal journey with that.
Yeah, imagine the person that's like, I need my mirror or I'll go crazy. If I didn't have my AI mirror, I can't be held responsible for what I'm going to do.
Hey, Toots, turn that frown upside down, huh? Show a little more leg, huh?
Up next, we have Samsung introduces the world's first transparent micro LED screen. So it's a transparent screen that will display things that you could see through. For what purpose?
To induce headaches, I think. This is technology meant to cause migraines.
This is just technology. This is the type of technology that they'll use, if you're ever in a Wile E. Coyote Roadrunner situation and you got to open up a hole in the side of a canyon so that way you can run through, and then the coyote comes and then he smacks dab in the middle of the glass. That's what we need.
Yeah. We need more Looney Tunes inspired technologies. I think Acme was really onto something.
Up next, we have the Chinese electric e-car. Chinese electric e-car maker Xpeng Airhot has unveiled a flying car. So this car opens up in the back, and then you have a little drone-style flying vestibule that pops that starts to fly you around. Isn't that great?
Yeah.
It's drone style too. And that makes me feel safe inside of it because how inoften those drones crash.
Yeah. Don't
It doesn't seem like a good idea.
No, this frightens me.
Yeah.
It's got the look of those like machines in that Black Mirror episode that kind of look like the dogs that like chase you down.
The ones that exist now, yeah.
Yeah, it looks like that, but the car version.
I'll be honest, all of this looks like a next Black Mirror episode for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Sony's VR simulating booth with surround screens and haptic feedback underfoot. So I guess like if you want to like watch a movie all around you and it looks like it's real. So these people are standing in a room and they're watching the new Ghostbusters movie that looks like a pile of shit. And the floor is lit up and the screens all around them are lit up. And then I guess the goo on the floor reacts to their feet. Because when I'm watching a movie, the first thing I think of is, why isn't there goo all over the floor that I could step on?
Well, actually, at a movie theater, I already think that.
Why is there goo on the floor?
Yeah.
I ever tell you when I worked at the movie theater that some guy came in Winnie the Pooh? Not in Winnie the Pooh. Sorry, let me rephrase here. I don't want anybody that thinks anyone bent that bear over and had their way with him. No. Winnie the Pooh himself is safe. But in the film, in one of the newer animated
in the film? That was a scene in the film?
No. I'm sorry. I'm really misspeaking here. Okay, the guy came to the movie theater. He paid money for a ticket, okay? He got some popcorn. He went into the theater to watch the film Winnie the Pooh. And inside of the movie theater, he jerked off and came. And when we went and cleaned up the theater, there's cum on the back of a seat that was showing Winnie the Pooh.
Was this the Heffalumps and Woozles?
It's got to be that scene for sure.
Movie?
No.
It's called.
It was literally called Winnie the Pooh. It was a remake of those original. They remade the original Winnie the Pooh. You know, the Heffalumps and Woozles is part of that original story, but yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Wow.
I mean, okay, the ass on that bear though. I mean, I don't blame. You know.
I mean, he is just running around in a t-shirt with his butt hanging out.
I can't say I haven't I can't say I haven't watched Winnie the Pooh and popped a Tigger, if you know what I mean. Anyway.
No, that guy's a creep.
AI-powered
That was a creep.
AI-powered hologram by HoloConnects, and I've seen these. These exist now. This isn't new. It's like a box. It's like a big old box, and it's recording someone somewhere in 3 dimensions, and so it looks like they're standing inside of this box. And you know where I've seen this? I think maybe I pulled it up on the podcast before. Kenan Thompson on SNL does comedy showcases around the United States. But he can't be bothered to get off his lazy ass and leave New York and host the shows. And so he sends this box and he does an AI, hey everyone, it's me, Kenan Thompson, hosting a show. Here's some of the best comedians in your city that I handpicked, that he didn't handpick. Some person who owns the theater, some other person handpicked and put together a comedy showcase under his name.
And they bought the rights to his image.
Exactly. And then his image shows up and goes, hey guys, I'm hosting the show. And then you buy tickets. You buy tickets to the Kenan Thompson showcase and you go, I'm going to see Kenan Thompson. And then you get there and there's a box and it lights up and he goes, hey guys, it's me, Kenan Thompson. You know, it's ridiculous. Yeah. It's absurd.
That's wild.
They've done them here in Chicago.
That's wild.
They do those shows all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, what kind of a lazy fucking piece of shit you have to be? It's
Although if SNL replaced all of
they're just boxes.
Every sketch is just hologram boxes. I mean, I might watch.
The sketch ends. They pull the set pieces off. They pull in the boxes.
Yeah, I mean that might be intriguing.
Yeah, maybe.
I can't.
Maybe.
Yeah.
And then they could just program the lines because it is a live show and they can't keep taking this risk with live human beings. If they could just program the scripts into AI versions of their cast members, then it could be a more effective propaganda tool than it is currently.
Yeah, I'm assuming that's what Kenan Thompson did for these showcases. Is he's not actually performing anything. It's just an AI generated script. Maybe.
They say that it's recorded of him, but
they can say whatever the hell they want. It doesn't mean it's true.
That's very true. That is very true. There's so many other ways to make money. As somebody like Kenan Thompson who is on SNL, you know, he could start it. He could pretty much, you know, pitch a show and get any show that he wants at this point. He already has. He's had a bunch of shitty shows. You know, he could pitch Good Burger 2 and put that out, and apparently that sucks. Or he can say, I'm hosting a bunch of comedy shows across the U.S., and then he needs to go do those. You need to travel like a real comedian and actually travel to go do those shows. It's absurd to be like, oh, I'm hosting 5 shows on the same night in a box as an AI. And you know what? Actually, I take this back. Not Kenan Thompson's fault. The people that buy tickets for that, fuck you. Like, there shouldn't be a market. He shouldn't be allowed to do it because there shouldn't be a market for it. There shouldn't be people interested in going to see Kenan Thompson's likeness in a box on a stage.
They might not know that it is his likeness in a box. They may think he's actually going to be there, and that's why they get the tickets. I think
very
it's
likely.
The person who produced this show.
That very likely.
They should be held responsible.
I found somebody else to blame. I blame all the female comedians booked on those shows. No, I'm just joking. I'm sure they're all very funny. And that was it. That was the last special piece of technology.
What if we got 2 boxes and we put them in this studio?
Oh, I
And-
would love to do a VR AI powered fucking
Hologram episode.
hologram episode of Working Crass podcast. Wow, that's a great idea, Lauren. Now we just need $10 million for the holoboxes.
Well, we're on our way.
How much are these? Let's look up how much is a HoloConnect's hologram box.
HoloConnect hologram box.
Let's see here. HoloConnects. Here's their
see If we
website.
can put this
I bet you
budge.
anything that they don't make their pricing. You have to like reach out for a quote
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
let's see.
it
I mean, it
says you
says
have to-
pricing. We make holograms accessible. Request our pricing list.
Yeah,
You would
they
literally
don't-
have to request
They
it.
don't want people to know that. That's proprietary.
This is absurd. This is
Mm.
absolutely absurd. Anyway, well,
Well, we'll consider it for a future episode.
that's the state of technology, folks. That's what's been going on. Nobody wants to live in reality. Everybody wants to live in a virtual world. They want to be. Nobody even wants to. Not only do you not want to live in reality, you don't want to appear to others in reality. You just want to be in a box, a version of yourself.
Yeah.
Send the box to work.
Yeah.
You know, send the box to the trailer park to empty out the septic tank. I'm too busy here at home putting my headset on, emptying septic tanks of virtual trailer homes. Anyway.
Oh.
Well, maybe we could have enough money to pay for one of these hologram boxes if we take on this deal here. A remote island is looking to pay 2 people to live there this summer, but it comes with a catch.
Mm.
I think we might.
I
think we might make a little money.
Make a little money.
I would love to go live on a remote island, and make some money too.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
thinking. I mean, it's paying 2 people, so I think we should read this with the idea that maybe Working Crass is going to relocate.
I'm gonna ask
We're
us to
going to
do.
relocate and do the podcast from a private island.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Okay, we need. I'm gonna have you scoot over just a little bit because, and just in your chair, just within your chair. There we go. Because we're not centered. Okay, and there's people that watch this podcast. They have OCD. They're autistic. They need
Yeah,
they
we
need things to
do.
visually look nice.
That
okay.
is who we cater to.
And by people, I mean me. While I'm editing the episode, and I'm sitting there and I'm going, it's not even.
All
It
right.
doesn't look good. Anyway, like I said, a remote island is looking to pay 2 people to live there this summer, but it comes with a catch. I guess we got to figure out what this catch is.
Yeah.
It's like, we'll pay you to come live on a beautiful island, but we're going to fuck your butts. Sorry. And you know what? I take the deal. I go, now that's a bargain. A private island, a paycheck, and a good butt fucking? Sign me up. It's never too early to start scoping out summer beach rentals. Here's one on a private island of the coast of Ireland that's entirely free. In fact, they'll pay you and a bestie to spend the entire season. Stunningly picturesque, Great Blasket Island.
Well, we're going to have to rename it to Working Crass Island. But
Great Crasket Island has a seal colony, endless ocean views, memorable scenery, and prehistoric sites. But there's a catch. You're not there to soak up the sun, assuming there is any, but rather to run the island, which welcomes scores of visitors during the warmer months. It's picturesque. It has a seal colony, endless ocean views, and memorable scenery. But you won't be seeing any of that because we're going to put you to work. Your duties will include running the island's cafe and hosting guests at 4 adjacent holiday cottages. You'll be cleaning the toilets. You'll be emptying the septic tanks of the trailer homes.
what? They expect just all that to be run by 2 people?
2 people's all it takes. Oh man. Well, it's Irish. They're drunk, right? So they're like
It's okay if service is slow.
yeah. Well, not only that, they're just like, how many people? I can't do Irish. How many people do you think it'll take to? I don't know. Can you do Irish?
Yeah, I'm thinking about having a try.
I'm thinking about having a threesome. How many people do you think it'll take fucking, to run the island? And they go.
And they're like, you're not Irish.
Yeah.
What are you doing here?
I have a mustache on, a fake mustache.
And you're
I'm like, no, I'm totally Irish. Hey. Okay, anyway.
Shillelagh.
While there's a salary involved, the job description didn't divulge the details, but this definitely sounds like hard work. The duo is required to meet and greet overnight guests, serve tea and coffee, and ensure the day-to-day needs of the establishments are met. I mean, really, if it is just two people, you are running around like fucking Lucy and Ethel in the chocolate factory when it's like going along the conveyor belt and they're fucking panicking and things are falling off the conveyor belt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's literally what this is.
Definitely. Or the one where Lucy and Ricky run the cafe.
Yes.
They open their own little restaurant.
Yes, absolutely. And they can't handle it because two people is not enough.
Yeah.
Look, I mean, it is beautiful though. But it's like you never get the time to enjoy it because you're working.
Yeah.
In need of 2 caretakers this year. The pair will be hosted in the apartment above the coffee shop and share the main bedroom while having full use of any amenities.
Now you will be running the coffee shop.
And cleaning the amenities. Food and accommodations are included, but everything else is your own responsibility. But what are the accommodations? I guess bed?
It's the bedroom, the main bedroom above the coffee shop that you have to share.
And you're like, a shower? We said everything else was your own responsibility. You're going to have to find a shower. The gig will last. Toilet? Nah, that's your responsibility.
There's a hole in the back.
The gig will last from April until October 2024 for the. I mean, this sounds like hell. It sounds like a job from hell. This is one of those too good to be trues, and then you show up there, and it's the most miserable summer you ever had in your whole fucking life. Yeah, I got scammed for my whole summer, and then I was a fucking slave for 4 months. And they paid me $50. The third and possibly fourth volunteer would be chosen to live in the second bedroom in June, July, and August to help with the busier months. So one person to help with busier months. I'm confused if this is okay, 2 people per cottage, or is this just 2 people running the entire fucking island?
It sounds like it's 2 people running this island, and if you're lucky, we'll toss in a third and a fourth if it gets to be too much.
The island's website lists that the job will require a hardworking, responsible, and trustworthy duo that have great people skills and initiative.
That sounds like the Working Crass podcast.
I really think that you're about to see the summer.
Like us.
The summer is going to be filled with Working Crass from Ireland,
live from Ireland, baby.
Live from the island off of the Irish coast.
Yeah.
And then, and then every episode will be interrupted by somebody coming up to us going, "Hey, can I get a cup of coffee?" And us going, "Oh, sorry, got to get back to work."
Go, "No, you cannot have coffee. You can have potatoes."
Potatoes.
That's one of my favorite
Conan.
things to say in an Irish accent.
Oh, yeah.
It's potatoes.
Potatoes. The 2 will also need to speak English and be eligible to work in the EU. The posting warns that this is not a holiday job.
Oh, it's not going to be a holiday. It's going to be hell.
This is an intense position, and caretakers must acknowledge that they are on an island with very little resources. The more they write about it, the more this sounds like fucking hell, like a horror film. This is like Midsommar or whatever. This is like you will be a part of a cabal ritual where we will kill you at the end of this.
Yes, you are joining a death cult.
Who wants the vacation of a lifetime? But it's less of a vacation and more of a torture chamber. The island is only a short ferry ride away from Kerry. The
key to get off the island is behind your eyeball.
The oar to row the boat back onto the mainland is inside of your wiener. The season can get very busy and you will be on your feet for most of the day. But don't worry if Great Blasket Island isn't for you. It isn't the only place offering to pay people to move in. Well, that's a nice
quaint.
Little... It's quaint. It's just you're busy the whole time.
Quaint.
A region in Italy is paying people under 40 years old to move in and join their community. Oh, God, I would love to do that. Since 2021, the far southern... It's just like if people are paying you to come there, that means that they can't get people to naturally come there, and there's something going on.
There's something off.
Exactly. If anybody says, we'll pay you to do something you want to do, you don't want to do that thing. I promise. The far southern Italian region of Calabria has been, am I saying that right?
I think so.
Has been attempting to bring fresh life to its depopulated countryside through a program called Active Residence Income, and this month it retook the internet's attention. Better still, you won't have to move out at the end of the summer. Okay, well, I'm happy to announce that Working Crass Ireland edition is coming soon.
Or Italian edition.
I
could definitely see us in a little cottage in Calabria.
Mm.
I feel like we've got Calabrian souls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, is this little Sopranos article just because we are who we are, or did they think because it mentions Italian?
And they're like, if it says Italy, post a story about Sopranos.
Yeah, let's throw a story about the Sopranos in there. It's crazy how that show still has like articles written. Like it's an old show that ended when I was like a child.
But it's so good.
It is good.
It's so good.
It is good. Well, moving on here. I saw this on Instagram. Now, this is something that I guess let me preface this. This is a man doing some slam poetry. I don't know what the difference between the poetry. It's like a poetry night. What is slam poetry? To me, that sounds like a roast battle.
Slam poetry, I think you have to say it very forcefully.
Yeah, and you gotta go boom when you're done with it. I always think of somebody taking the mic and slamming it down.
Definitely, you throw the microphone at the end.
Yeah,
You beat somebody with a mic stand.
Yeah.
I believe that's slam poetry.
White people take land that's not theirs. Brown people suffer. Bam! Slam poetry.
Yeah.
That's like what I imagine.
Yeah.
Anyway, this guy does a poem.
Okay.
But it's not a poem because it doesn't rhyme. I'm a traditionalist when it comes to poems. Your poems have to sound like Dr. Seuss. It has to sound like you're reading Mr. Brown Meets a Fox or whatever the fuck.
You only recognize limericks.
I only recognize limericks.
Another reason why you'd be perfect to live on a remote island in Ireland.
In Ireland.
Your love of limericks.
It's just like, if you just stand up on a stage and tell a fucking story and you're like, that's my poem, I'm like, that's no poem, you bitch. You have to write. You have to think of a rhyme scheme. Like, for me, it has to be A-B, or it's not a poem. It's just bitching, okay? Anyway, this guy gets on stage, and he has a poem about dolls, about how he won't let his sons play with dolls. But it doesn't go in the direction that you think, because he's a poet, so he's like really deep and stuff. Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
All right, here we go.
In fact,
Okay, hold on. Let me refresh so that we can start at the beginning, because Instagram is stupid. Come on, here we go.
will never play with dolls.
My sons will never play with dolls.
In fact, I refuse to let my sons play with dolls. That's not what men do. Men are supposed to be leaders, protectors, providers. How do I expect him to be the head of a home when he's steady tending to a house made of plastic? I refuse to let my sons play with dolls. If I ever catch him with a Barbie, a Bratz, a Polly Pocket, or Cabbage Patch, I swear my right hand to God, I will set him straight, and on that is not how God intended for us to act. I said I refuse to let my sons play with dolls.
What about action figures? Are those considered dolls?
Those might be dolls. Now, so far, it sounds like, someone who's like, very anti-gay, like, I ain't gonna let my sons play with no sissy-ass doll. It sounds very, like, traditional and, like, trying to reinforce traditional gender roles and everything, but it's not going in that direction that you think.
Well, he's doing slam poetry, so
yes.
I'm assuming that this is an inversion
Correct.
of what you think.
It is an inversion of what you think. He's like, I'm
subverting societal norms.
I'm subverting your expectations because I'm a white guy, but I'm talking like I'm black.
Maybe that's what slam poetry is.
Yeah, it really. I said I refuse. I'm like, what are you doing, dude? Anyway.
Because I don't want them learning what it's like to have ownership over a woman's body.
Oh!
Thinking that all women are born with strings on their back. That if you pull hard enough, they'll act how you want them to act, wear what you want them to wear, talk the talk, and walk the walk straight into a box that was never designed to hold the sound of a woman's voice, let alone her stretch marks. Tattooed across her skin as a result of reaching so far across the universe, she bridged heaven and earth.
By the way, that's not why women have stretch marks. I just want to clarify and do a little fact checking here. Women don't have stretch marks because they reached so far across heaven and earth. They ate it because they have stretch marks because they ate McDonald's. Okay, that's what it is.
Or they were pregnant and gave birth,
Sure.
and your skin. You get stretch marks just when your skin stretches out.
Is this his complaint about dolls of women too? It's like, and the dolls don't have stretch marks. Draw them on.
I think they do make dolls now with stretch marks.
Are you kidding me?
I mean, I think they make dolls of everything now. I think the doll making business has just decided we're just going to make one of every type of thing that exists. So I
Yeah.
think you can pretty much find a doll of anything you want.
Oh yeah, I mean, and you can make a doll of whatever you want, right? You just take a blob of plastic and you go, there you go, that's an obese woman right there. Put that out on the market. That one looks like my Grammy. Go ahead, send it out. Let's go.
Yet still, there are men who view women as more mistake than they do miracle, who spit sexist slurs through their teeth like refund receipts for all the clothes he will never allow her to wear, because she's showing too much skin, because that outfit is asking for it, because all she wants is attention. Men who are more likely to punish you for an abortion than they are for sexual assault. But if they see the procedure to be the murder of a baby inside of a woman, then tell me, when a girl gets raped, is the child inside her not dying too? Sheesh.
Yeah, I like the audience goes, sheesh, that's too much. Woo! Yeah, you're going a little too crazy with this. I mean, first of all, conceptually, he started with one thing and has really just stretched it out to something else. But
I mean, this is just stream of consciousness. This is somebody who just had a bunch of thoughts late at night, put them all in a journal, and came on stage and said, "No, it's a poem. It's a poem." I mean, a
this
poem,
is not
I guess, can
deep.
be anything
This
you
is
want
not
it to be.
deep. This is not interesting. This isn't good. This
No,
isn't
it's just
like,
rambling.
This is fucking dumb fucking talking points. Like, I hate this. I hate this so much. Because then the reason why I hate this,
But I bet you don't hate it as much as he does hating his son playing with dolls and feeling like he can control a woman. She is empowered.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I just let the verse take over me.
I
for
just
a
imagine
second.
his son with a little dog going like, I'm a woman and I love to play in the sun. And he takes it and he throws it across the room and he goes, you can't control her.
Yeah.
The reason why I hate this, and here's the thing, I do want to clarify here. I don't disagree with anything that he's saying. I do think you should treat your sons to respect women and not treat them like dolls and playthings and objects. I think that's fine. I think there probably are a bunch of men out there that treat women like objects. It's okay to have that opinion that you do not want your sons to grow up that way. That's fine. My problem is that every comedy show I've ever done, every comedy show that we've been at, somebody like this gets up on stage and goes, here's your next comic. It's this guy. And then he comes up and does this. And then people like clap and think that this is like good. This is not deep or interesting or artistic at all. This is just a repeating of talking points that they saw on the feminist Instagram page. And he goes, I could get a lot of pussy doing this.
Yeah.
That's all this is.
Yeah. Well, I agree.
You're telling me this dude hasn't shamed a woman for an abortion? This looks like every guy at a bar is shaming women for abortion. Am I wrong? Am I wrong that this guy doesn't get off this stage and then you go talk to him at the bar and he goes, here's the thing about girls, you just got to treat them like shit, man. That's that guy.
No, that is that guy. He looks like he's both shamed women for abortions yet also forced them into it. And
110%.
He's both.
110%. Do you know how many of this guy I've met here in Chicago that when they get on stage, they do stuff like this and the women go, wow, that's so brave of you. And then off stage, they come talk to a guy like me and then they'll go, yeah, that's the thing about got women, though, you got to beat them up and treat them like shit. I swear to God, they're literally the most sexist people are the people that get on stage and try to preach feminism, are the male feminists. Male feminists are the most sexist people I've ever met, hands down, always, every time.
They're the sneaky fuckers.
They are. And here's the reason. Like, they know that they're incredibly sexist. That's why they're getting on stage and preaching feminism. That's 100%. It's to cover their asses. It's to go like, no, you saw what I did up there, right? So I'm not a bad guy.
Yeah.
Always. I'm not saying sometimes, and I'm not saying half the time. 100% of the time. I promise you, 100%. And there will be women out there that see this and listen to this and they go, no, he seems like he's legit. No, you're wrong.
He's full of beans.
He's full of beans. There is no such thing as a male feminist. It doesn't exist.
They're just sacks of beans. You take off their skin suit, and it's literally just a sack of pinto beans.
I'm sorry to get so angry. I really do mean this.
I didn't think you were getting angry. I thought you were just doing slam poetry.
And you will never meet a man like this. A man who calls himself a feminist, an ist, a tist, a whist.
His heart is beans. His head is beans. His legs are beans.
I have legitimately, and I really mean this, met so many dudes that are the male feminists who preach all of this in public and around women, and then in private with other dudes become the exact opposite of that. And in my experience, the reason why they're doing that is to cover their ass for their actions that they take in private. Always. And I mean always, every time. It's really disheartening. Like it actually happens every time. Every time. I look for the guys that do that, and then I'll make a point to go talk to them. Every time. Hey man, I just love to fuck bitches. That's what the game is all about, bro. That's what this guy does.
Yeah. Well, I've heard enough of his poem. We can move on.
I gotta hear the end.
You gotta see how this plays out.
Is the robbery of her innocence not worth better laws, or will we continue to force these girls into a motherhood they never asked for? A friend tells me that her mother was born from a rape. And I ask how she's coping with that today, if she now has to look her mother in the eyes and wonder if she's able to see the blessing before she sees the trauma, or does she sit silent in sorrow whenever that train of thought crosses those battered borders in her brain? My mother tells me that she was 25 when she got her first doll. That her first memory as a child was being beat by her father. And it hurts to know that, like so many other girls, my mother had to live her childhood backwards, being treated like a woman well before she was one, yet never taken seriously long after she became one, having to train her words daily until they were calloused, just so maybe what she says might be able to hold a little bit of weight. I hate that I have to use my platform.
There was a couple rhymes in there, and you know what? I'll say kudos.
You were like, that part? Actually,
he threw a couple rhymes in there.
Kind of down with that part.
You know what? Kind of down with that part. It had a good scheme. I started to move my head. I started to get into the flow of the rhythm. I liked that part a little bit. That being said, he's still bullshitting and he's still lying through his fucking teeth. My mother's stretch marks went from this side of the universe to this side of the earth itself because my mother earth, she was so nourishing that she would stretch her love from one side of the world to the other. And stretch marks went so deep into my mother.
She never had a chance to not have stretch marks. The stretch marks were the scars of her past. Yeah.
We can be done with this.
You know what? The catch to living on that remote island is this is the guy that you have to live with, and you have to hear his slam poetry every night.
Yes, absolutely. Hey, check out this comment right here. Is this someone smart in the comment section here? Sounds like a con man in the making to me. Thank you. That is funny because the female comments are all, oh my gosh, thank you. This melted my whole heart. That's what he's going for here.
Yes.
He's going for a comment section full of women to go, wow, you really, can I please suck on your dong? Please, you poet.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
He knows what he's doing. He's a sneaky fucker.
He's a regular Shel Silverstein. Oh my God. Anyway, well, That's my rant about that. That made me so mad when I saw it, and I had to go off. And I'm sorry. I got a little angry there. I did a lot of screaming. I'm sorry. I've just seen this a lot, and as somebody who has a lot of important women in my life. And I've seen what women go through in my life. You know I gotta speak out because I can't stand the way these men are treating these women. It just breaks me down to my soul. No, but I do have a lot of women in my life. I do care about women. I most of my friends growing up forever have been women. I've just seen this over and over and over and over and over again. All of my female friends that I've had that would show me the text that they would get from the nice guy friend that they had that they thought was completely nice, and it's one of my friends, and then they show me the text and it's like the most disgusting fucking filth and like harassing these women. It's always, I'm just like, stop pretending like, I don't know. In my experience, if you're pretending to be really, really, really feminist and really, really for the women, you're trying to fuck.
Yeah.
And if you act like you don't really fucking give a shit, you're probably pretty nice to women, in my experience. Unless you're like outwardly like fucking fuck women, you know? Like I'm not saying that there's not misogynists.
It's a you.
It is a you. It is a you.
It's a you.
The more feminist you become, the more the more or I'm sorry, not become. The more feminist you act like you are, the closer you actually are to just a misogynist again.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, that got my blood fucking boiling. Man, I should watch this every morning to just get my fucking energy going.
Yeah.
I will not let my son play with dolls. And I look at my son playing with dolls and I ask myself one question and one question only. Oh, my Lord. Hey there, Crass Wipes. I just want to take a quick moment to tell you about the best way to support Lauren and I and all of Working Crass Podcast, and that is patreon.com/workingcrasspod. We are making some super funny bonus episodes every single week, putting them out there on Patreon. If you want to check them out, go ahead there, patreon.com/workingcrasspod. We would really appreciate the support. It would really, really help us out because we're broke. We don't have any money. If you're not convinced yet, here's a quick clip of one of our latest episodes. Because you're like, oh, my cousin Rob and my Uncle Stuart or whatever. And we're like, yeah, my Mima and my Nini.
My Nini, my Mima.
That is a Southern family.
This is my peapon, my tutu, and my TT.
It's like private part nicknames.
This is my cock gun, my tutu.
My Gucci.
So if you like what you see, go head over to patreon.com/workingcrasspod. We got a lot more of it over there. All right, back to the episode. Anyway, all right. That being said, I'm going to quickly do little plugs here. My first plug is that you should all go check out the Patreon. We've been doing a lot of great work over there, a lot of funny episodes, and we're really proud of those. So please go check those out. This episode should be coming out on the 19th, and I would like to plug some live shows. Something that I've been doing here in our episodes is plugging some live shows. Byron, who you're familiar with if you've been watching the podcast, and I do shows in Chicago. If any of our listeners are in the Chicago area or plan on being in the Chicago area in February or March, here's some dates where you can come out and see us perform some comedy. I think you'd have a lot of fun coming and checking it out. So, that being said, you can catch Byron and I at I.O. Cage Match, where we compete against other improv teams at I.O. Chicago. That's on Thursday, February 22nd at 9 p.m. You can also see me doing some live music at the Lincoln Lodge for a show called Dr. Fix Me. That is opening that show. It's Saturday, March 2nd at 7 p.m. Then you can catch Byron and I again on that night as well, March 2nd at 10 p.m. later that night at I.O. Chicago at a show called Spellbound. And finally, you can catch Byron and I performing some music at Bendición Dry Bar. And that is at a show called Blessed. It is Saturday, March 16th at 6 p.m. If you're one of our listeners and you are planning on being in the Chicago area or you already live in the Chicago area, definitely consider coming out and seeing a show. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're doing a lot of really, really cool stuff out there. So,
yeah. And you can catch me out at the Apple Store with my VR goggles on, just shitting all over and on a far remote island in Ireland and yeah, having the time of my life. That's what I'll be doing.
Lauren, if you go to one of those shows, it's possible that Lauren might be sitting in the audience, avoiding eye contact and not talking to anybody. So go sit down next to Lauren and say you're a fan of the podcast. She'll get really scared and she won't talk to you for the rest of the night.
Yeah, I'll run away.
Literally, go show up to any of these shows, go sit down next to Lauren and whisper in her ear, I listen to your podcast. And then she's going to piss her fucking pants. That is a nightmare to me. Sometimes I have nightmares where I'm walking to work and someone comes up to me and they go, hey, I saw that episode of your podcast. And I go, oh no. Every time someone follows the podcast page that I know personally, I go, oh, God, no, please don't watch any episodes.
Yeah.
Not because I don't think what we do is funny. I actually, I'm very proud of the product that we've made. I'm very proud of the last few episodes we've done. The last 4 episodes that we did when we were recording on Texas have the most views of, they've had a huge spike of views. They're very, very funny. I'm very proud of all of that stuff. It's just when people, it's just,
It's how I feel about performing live in front of people that I know in my real life.
Yes.
I just don't, it makes me get in my head way more.
Yeah.
I like performing for people that I know and I'm never going to meet.
Exactly. I'm never going to talk to, so they can never go, hey, that thing you said was pretty hateful. And I go, well, I can't defend it. Sorry. I agree that it's hateful. That's why I said it. No, that's not it at all. What it is
Except for
that
Dawn of Comics. I'm glad that we met Dawn of Comics.
I'm very glad that we met Dawn of Comics. Absolutely. And that's someone we met doing this, so we know that he approves of the things we say. Yeah. Not everything we say, I'm sure. I'm sure that there's some things that we say that he just turns the fucking podcast off and goes, away with these fools. Anyway, no, it's just, when you're doing a podcast and anything with comedy, you're just throwing ideas out there and you're trying new things. And sometimes you say something that you don't necessarily even believe. But I stand by 100% of male feminists are misogynist. 100%.
Yeah.
100.
And if you want more of those kind of spicy hot takes, you should join our Patreon.
Patreon.com/workingcrasspod. Really great episode over there called Spin the Wheel that I really, really like. I'd recommend highly. Anyway, let's read our last story here. Indian police clear a suspected Chinese spy pigeon after 8 months in bird lockup.
I mean, I just find this hard to believe because we just watched that whole video about all those technology products coming out. And
I
China
didn't see nothing about no spy pigeon.
Yeah, I didn't see one spy pigeon listed in that whole video. I was waiting for it.
I didn't see a damn pigeon in there.
I was like, what kind of technology show ain't got no pigeons? No, they had that, freaky-ass car thing. That was a Chinese company.
Yeah.
And you're telling me they can build that, but they have to rely on pigeons for espionage?
Yeah, no, I don't buy it. I don't believe it. Well, this was, Indian police cleared a suspected Chinese spy pigeon after 8 months detention and released it into the wild Tuesday, news agency Press Trust of India reported. I'm just picturing a group of Indian men waterboarding a pigeon. What do you know? And the pigeon's like, rah, 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 rah. And that's it.
They're just beating it with those big sticks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Didn't we watch a video where it was I think it was in India where the people were pulling the guy over for drunk driving and they just beat him with the sticks?
They beat him with a stick. Yep.
Yeah, I think that's what they do to the pigeons too.
They have to. And 8
They're
months.
like, are you a spy? Are you a spy?
It took them 8 months to find out that it was a real normal pigeon and not a spy pigeon.
Well, they couldn't break that pigeon spirit.
It was 8 fucking months. It's 4 months in. They're like, we got a new clue.
Yeah, I mean, you have...
He shed a feather.
Yeah.
And the feather kind of looks like...
You have to strip a pigeon of its pigeonhood before it feels, like it has nothing left to live for, and then it can reveal its spy secrets.
How do you say hello in Chinese?
Ni hao.
You said that at the beginning of this episode, right?
Yeah,
okay,
I did.
good.
I might be a spy pigeon.
I wish... I know. They're standing around. I wish I hadn't asked you that question and just remembered, and it'd be a great callback. But now it's not a good callback if I have to go, hey, you said that earlier, right?
I just fly away suddenly.
No, they're just surrounding the pigeon. They're going, ni hao, Ni hao, and then it looks over at the it looked, it's a Chinese spy pigeon.
Yeah.
The pigeon's ordeal began in May when it was captured near a port in Mumbai with 2 rings tied to its legs carrying words that looked like Chinese. Oh, interesting. Police suspected it was involved in espionage and took it in. It's so weird to see a bird and be like, that bird's involved in espionage.
Yeah.
That's a strange reaction to a bird.
Yeah, you never think animals could engage in spycraft, but when you think about it,
Why not?
yeah, why not?
Why
What
the
else
fuck not?
what else are they doing with their time?
Yeah, why the fuck not? Eventually, it turned out the pigeon was an open water racing bird from Taiwan that had escaped and made its way to India. This is even more interesting. Now that sounds like this bird is in like one of those like Ocean's 11 situations. Like it was in a race and it stole the winnings and it made its way to India.
Yeah, it infiltrated a Las Vegas casino. and-
Correct. Yes, exactly. It was on the run.
They used the pigeon to hide in the little suitcase that they wheel into the vault, and then it uncontorts itself to steal the money.
Yes. Just imagine it with all of its wings and
Yeah.
feathers. Anyway, it's not the first time a bird has come under police suspicion in India.
I'd believe that.
In 2020, police in Indian-controlled Kashmir released a pigeon belonging to a Pakistani fisherman after a probe found that the bird, which had flown across the heavily militarized border between the nuclear-armed nations, was not a spy. In 2016, another pigeon was taken into custody after it was found with a note that threatened Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Wow.
Dang.
Lots of pigeon threats in India. Now I know if we ever go to India, don't bring your pigeon. They go, we don't take kindly to pigeons around here.
I'm just wondering, because there's a ton of pigeons here in Chicago.
Are any of them spy pigeons?
We got to keep our eyes open for the signs of a spy.
That's why
amongst the pigeons. I mean, what do we look for?
That's why no matter what, when I'm walking down the street and I see a pigeon, I kick everyone I see.
Just in case.
Yeah.
You just walk by and you go, fucking spy.
Byron would not like to hear that. Byron protects the pigeons. Byron's like that lady in Home Alone 2, like takes care of all the pigeons.
Yeah.
He loves the pigeons. Anyway, well, that was our short little story here about the secret spy pigeon. I just think the idea of a spy pigeon is funny. Ba-da,
is fun.
ba-da, ba-da-da. And the pigeon like looks at the camera.
That will be the next Pixar movie, Spy Pigeon.
Spy pigeon. The name's Pigeon. Spy pigeon. Ba-da, ba-da.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Anyway, well, let's wrap up. What did you learn today, Lauren?
I learned that working Crass is going to Ireland, baby. I think that's our next job. I think we could crush it. We could run that island, get it into tip-top shape. That's what I think. That's what I learned.
Wow, I love it. I learned something that I've always known, and that is that fucking male feminists are always misogynist every single time, and that includes me. I consider myself a male feminist, but behind closed doors, these women get what's coming to them. No, I'm just joking. I don't mean that. Don't listen to me. You know what I learned? Never listen to this podcast. Don't listen to anything I say on this podcast. We've said this before on our podcast before. We don't mean anything that we say, but we really mean literally everything we say. That's the secret to the podcast. You say everything you believe, and when people confront you about it, you go, I was just joking. I'm playing. All right, anyway. Anything else before we go?
No, I think that should do it.
All right. Well, we'll see you out at one of those live shows. Feel free to go sit next to Lauren and tell her you listen to the podcast. Whisper in her ear.
And I'm going to fly my little pigeon butt right out of there.
All right. See you guys later in the virtual reality universe. Goodbye.
Bye.